You're floating at the surface, sun on your back. 200 meters away, something already knows exactly where you are. It hasn't seen you. It doesn't need to. It felt you. The small, irregular kicks of your legs pressed into the water like a fingerprint. This is what a shark senses when you're in the water, and almost none of it is what you think. We've been told the shark is a nose with teeth, a mindless eating machine that smells one drop of blood in a swimming pool. Nearly all of that is wrong. It finds you in stages, first sound, then smell, then something we don't have at all. It can feel the electricity of your beating heart. And when it reaches you, what it does next is not what the movies promised. Start far out, where you can't see a thing. The first sense that reaches you is sound, tuned to low, irregular frequencies, exactly the sound of something in trouble. It can pick that up from hundreds of meters away. So the first thing a shark learns about you is your rhythm. Smooth movement is background. Panicked splashing is a dinner bell. Then, up the current, comes smell. A shark cannot smell one drop of blood in a swimming pool, but it can detect blood at 1 part per million and follow that thread for minutes. And it smells in stereo. Scent reaching one nostril a split second before the other tells it which way to turn. It zigzags up the corridor, correcting, closing. Now get close, into the last stretch of water, and the shark switches on a sense we don't have at all. In the tip of its snout sit hundreds of tiny, jelly-filled pores. They detect electricity, and every beating heart, including yours, leaks a faint electric field into the water. These are the ampullae of Lorenzini, and they are almost unbelievably sensitive, able to pick up electric fields of a few billionths of a volt. In the final meter, in total darkness, even if you were buried under sand, the shark wouldn't need its eyes. It feels the twitch of your muscles and the pulse in your chest. Researchers proved it with a trick. They buried a flatfish in the sand, and a shark went straight to it. Then they buried nothing at all, just 2 electrodes, leaking a faint field that looked like a living animal. The shark ignored the real food nearby and bit the bare wires. Which means the one thing a shark uses to find you is the one thing you can never hide. You can hold perfectly still. You can't stop your own heart. In that final approach, you aren't a shape or a smell. You are an electrical signal blinking in the dark. There's one more sense running the entire length of its body, the lateral line. A stripe of sensors that feel pressure and movement. The wake you shove through the water with every kick. The tremor of a struggling animal from a body length or 2 away. It feels you moving before it ever sees you. Only now, close, and often last of all, does it actually look. Shark eyes are built for gloom, not for detail. And this is where the trouble begins. Because from below, backlit against the bright surface, a person paddling on a surfboard has almost exactly the silhouette of its favorite meal, a seal. To a shark cruising beneath you, you are not a human being. You're a dark shape kicking at a bright ceiling in roughly the outline of prey. Everything it has gathered on the way in, the splashing, the scent, the electric flicker, has been assembling a picture. And the picture it half expects is food. So think about what you actually are to a shark. Not a person, a rhythm, a scent trail, a pressure wave, an electric pulse, a silhouette. It has been building you, sense by sense, out of the pieces you couldn't help but shed into the water, long before it laid eyes on you. And after all of that, you'd expect the ending to be violent every single time. It usually isn't. This is exactly where the mindless killer story falls completely apart. From below, you look like a seal. Up close, apparently you didn't, because what happens next isn't a kill, it's a question. When a shark finally reaches something it isn't sure about, it has a problem. No hands. The only tool it has to investigate a strange object is its mouth, so it does something researchers call an exploratory bite. It bites once to find out what you are. And most of the time, the answer disappoints it. You're too bony, too lean. A seal is a thick slab of fat, dense, high-value fuel. A human is mostly muscle and bone wrapped around nowhere near enough of it. To a predator counting calories, you are a bad meal. You can see the difference in how it moves. When a white shark commits to a seal, it comes up from below at speed and leaves the water entirely. Almost nobody is hit like that. What people describe instead is slow, close, and strangely careful. This is the grim mercy hidden in the numbers. Many people bitten by large sharks survive, and the reason is that the shark tasted them, registered the mistake, and let go. Horrifying for the person, but it tells you something crucial. It didn't want you. It was only checking. A shark that truly meant to kill you, a several-meter animal that can feel your heartbeat in the dark, would rarely leave you the chance to reach the shore. That so many people do isn't only luck. Part of it is a verdict. You failed the taste test, and it let you go. And the thing delivering that verdict is old. Sharks have been refining these senses for over 400 million years. There were sharks before there were trees. They have been through mass extinction after mass extinction. Whatever wiped out the trilobites, the dinosaurs, most of everything, sharks were already old news, and they kept going. What's reading you in the water is the most experienced sensor the ocean has ever built. Now the honest part. None of this makes sharks safe, or gentle, or your friends. A big shark is a wild predator and a genuine danger, and its mistakes, those misreadings, can be fatal. We're not going to pretend the fear is completely irrational, but here's the number that should reset the entire story. In an average year, sharks kill about 10 people. In that same year, human beings kill somewhere around 100 million sharks. For every human a shark kills, we kill something like 10 million of them. We banned finning, and the killing went up. The fin trade stalled, the meat trade overtook it, and the boats just started keeping the whole animal. The ocean's oldest, most exquisite predator is being wiped out by the one animal that's terrified of it. So go back to the water, you floating at the surface, the thing out in the blue that felt your heartbeat before it ever saw your face. We spend that whole moment absolutely certain we know which of us is the predator, but it is reading you carefully, cautiously, ready to be disappointed. And we've already decided. We pour all the fear we feel about the whole dark ocean into a single shape with fins, and then we kill it by the 100 million. So the next time you're in the water and that old, cold fear crawls up your spine, the feeling that something out there could be watching, you might be right. Something out there might be feeling the small electric flicker of your heart, but it isn't the monster from the story. It's just trying to work out what you are. The harder question is the one it never has to ask about us. Of the two animals in the water, which one is actually the hunter?